Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao both duck Errol Spence and decide to fight each other. Please like and subscribe. Help us hit 10,000 subscribers. Leave us a comment. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Fights. So it's official. Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao. July 20th in Vegas. They haven't set the official venue, but the date, July 20th, Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman for the legitimate, whatever we want to call it, WBA welterweight championship. Will be on pay-per-view, and again, it will be in Vegas. The exact venue has not been set yet. I'm okay with this fight. It's the two WBA title holders, the world regular champion, or whatever they call it in the WBA, Manny Pacquiao, and Keith Thurman, the super champ, who defended his title once voluntarily in the last 2 years. It is what it is. Pacquiao looked good against Adrian Broner. I had him winning 10-2 or 9-3 on my scorecard. I don't remember exactly which one. And Keith Thurman looked a bit trash against gatekeeper Josecito Lopez. So let's get into that. What's on the line for Manny Pacquiao? I'm not really sure. It certainly heightens his level of legitimacy, right? Like if he wants to still be considered at that elite level, and no longer viewed as a sideshow. I don't want to say no longer, or viewed as a sideshow, or just cashing out, or on his senior circuit retirement tour. If he wants to be considered a legitimate champ at 147, he's got to beat one of those three champs. He's got to beat Crawford, Thurman, or Spence. Or Porter, but Porter's fighting Spence, and I'm assuming Spence is going to win. He's going to have to beat one of those guys. And this gives him that opportunity. I think it's the easiest option for him. But if he beats Thurman, you can't argue with it, right? His Hall of Fame legacy is already cemented, so it's not like, if Keith Thurman comes in and blows him out in one round, which won't happen, but let's just say it did. He's still a Hall of Famer. He's still an all-time great. We could argue, debate whether or not he's a legitimate 8th Division World Champion, but what he's done is incredible, right? Maybe a win elevates his status as like some kind of ageless wonder, Bernard Hopkins, Tom Brady, Nolan Ryan. I don't know, but a win elevates his status to a degree, but it doesn't really, Look, he's not better than Pacquiao. I mean, Pacquiao's not better than Mayweather. He's not better than Roy Jones. He's in that next group of guys. Is he better than Pernell Whitaker? Is he better than Bernard Hopkins? Marquez? These are interesting conversations to have. Does a win help him elevate his name over those guys? If you don't already have him over those guys, maybe. But I don't think so. I rank Pacquiao below Hopkins on my list of fighters of that era. I don't think a win over Thurman puts him ahead of Hopkins. So I don't think it does much for him. It just kind of cements him for the time being, right? Like if he beats Thurman, then it would be acceptable for him to fight Spence next, right? It's a good fight. Manny Pacquiao is probably 80% of what he was a decade ago. He's still quick. He still has great footwork. Still pops. Still has good pop. Throws pretty good combinations. Throws real good combinations, should say. It's just not as good as it was when he was maybe, 30. Obviously, he has something left in the tank. He showed that against Broner. So the question is this. Is 80% of Manny Pacquiao, 80% of an all-time great, legendary fighter, enough to beat a guy that is regarded as the number 3 welterweight in the world? Oh, maybe. And we will get into that. Maybe. What's at stake for Keefy Poo? Run time, Keith, once upon a time, Thurman. I think his career is on the line. I think, and I'm being serious about this, I think if Keith Thurman loses, he retires. Look, Keith has fought, 3 times in 4 years? 4 times? The guy barely ever fights, right? I mean, he in the last 4 years, I think he's fought 3 times. So, don't give me injuries. We have done countless shows on Keefy's injuries and the severity or the lack thereof, his highly questionable injuries, right? The lack of severity of his injuries, 2-week recovery time, 1 month recovery time. He's out 2 years. His head is obviously not into this anymore. He took nearly 2 years off in the prime of his career to get married and avoid Errol Spence, play the flute, whatever. He wasn't into boxing. And this is a guy, you go back 2013, 2014, he fought everybody. You know? He was a fighting man. And he just lost his heart for it. You know? I like Derrick Rose. I compare him to Derrick Rose and things like that. He wasn't into boxing. Look, he hasn't been into boxing for a while now. He took a year off to fight Porter. He took 9 months off to fight Garcia. He took 2 years off for no reason, right? I'm having trouble being convinced that he's 100% into this. I know he's not. And I don't know that he can win fights when he's not 100% into it. Look, he's set to make the biggest payday of his career, presumably. That's not going to help the motivation. The contract's signed. He doesn't need to get a win. That money's going to be guaranteed to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just has to show up and he's going to probably get paid the biggest career purse, his biggest career purse. That's not going to help him if he loses, get back into the ring. If he loses, I think that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, his motivation is already highly questionable. Now give him millions and millions and millions of more dollars. Do I really feel like doing this when I didn't feel like doing it before? Probably not. So, this can kind of be a cash-out fight. He took 2 years off, gave a lackluster performance, is now going into the biggest payday of his career. That looks like a cash-out to me. Looks like a cash-out fight. I don't think Thurman is motivated. I don't think he's going to win. I think he's going to make, I think he's going to take my $74.99, take your $74.99. I think he's going to take everyone's $74.99. I think this does 500,000 pay-per-view sales at least. I think he takes all that money and rides off into the sunset. That's his way to the bank. Never to be seen again. So obviously, two things. I'm picking Pacquiao to win. I think Pacquiao is going to overwhelm him with angles and punches. I think Keith Thurman is going to never really get it going. I think he will lose some of the early rounds and sort of fade the way Matisse did. I think Matisse's heart wasn't into it, and I don't think Thurman's heart is in it either. If Pacquiao does enough to win the early rounds, tags Keith up a bit, hits him with the left hand, hits him with the right hook, I think Keith is going to go into retreat, and Manny will rack up the rounds with work rate. I think Manny takes a 117 to 111 type of decision. Call it like 9-3 wide, easy. The legendary Filipino champion, and I don't think we see Keith Thurman again. So I think Pacquiao wins rounds early. I think the fight's fairly competitive early. Say the first 6 rounds, maybe it's 4-2. Something like that. And I think after that, Keith Thurman's just going to go into retreat. I think he's going to say, I'm not into this. This guy, like Tim Bradley describes being in the ring with Manny Pacquiao, is constantly avoiding daggers. Just dagger coming after you. And I think he's just going to go into retreat. I think his heart's not into it. He doesn't want to get knocked out. At the same time, he doesn't really feel like fighting. So he's just going to go in retreat. He's got great legs. He's got good speed. Stay on the outside. And just stay away from Pacquiao. He's going to lose the round after round after round. So I see 9-3, something like that for Manny Pacquiao. And I think Keith Thurman calls it quits. I think he's going to make, in a ballpark of $10 million for this fight. When it's all said and done with all pay-per-view sales, I think that's it. I think he's going to go play the flute in China. Fix some more injuries maybe. I don't know. Last thing, I'm not 100% convinced that this fight's going to happen. Look, and this is not just a Keith thing. These guys don't fight twice a year. They just both fought in January. This fight, and let me make a point. Gary Russell Jr. fights less than anybody. Gary Russell Jr. is fighting in May. If he came back and said, I'm fighting October, November, whatever, would I be skeptical of that? Yes. So this is not specifically at either of these two guys. If Gary Russell Jr. announced that he was fighting 6 months from now for a second time, I'd be skeptical. I'm skeptical of Thurman and Pacquiao, right? They don't fight twice a year. Thurman doesn't really fight once a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, I'm not convinced that this fight's going to happen in July. It could happen later in the year. I think Keith may fake an injury. I think Pacquiao may, push it back. I don't think it's necessary. It's announced for July. But look, if Keith Thurman canceled the fight or pulled out of a fight, would it happen? No, he's done it countless times. He's supposed to fight March 3rd. That shows how many. He's supposed to fight April 14th of 2018. Pulled out of that. He was supposed to fight Sean Porter. Push that back. So this is not unheard of with Keith Thurman. And Manny Pacquiao is 40. He's still 40? Yeah, he's 40. Is he 41? I think he's 40. He fights once a year. He fought once in 2016. Fought once in I know he fought twice in 2016. He fought once in 2017, once in 2018. Is he going to fight twice again this year? I don't know. It seems unlikely. It seems unlikely that either of these guys at this point are 2 times a year fighters. That doesn't seem like that's where they are in their careers. But let me know. So I'm not completely convinced that this fight's going to come off in July. Let me know what you guys think of that. Let me know what you think of my prediction of the fight. And let me know what you think of my prediction of Keith Thurman. That this is the last time we're going to see Keith Thurman in the ring. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Let me know what you think. Remember to like and subscribe. Please share this. Help us hit 10,000 subscribers for another episode of Tuesday Night Fights from Texas to the world. This is 3D Boxing saying thank you and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.